don't have access to expensive mocap suits and cameras or one of the latest iPhone models, you can still generate good quality facial animations for your game with some really cool free tools. In this two-part tutorial, I'll be showing you how to take an audio file of some dialogue, automatically create facial animations from that audio file, and then play those animations in-game during runtime on a Metahuman playable character. Let's jump in. Hey everybody, so this is going to be an overview of a facial animation pipeline for a video game using Unreal Engine, where the playable character is a metahuman. So let's see what that looks like in practice.
Looks useful. There's only one way to find out. Do you ever feel like someone's watching you?
So obviously not AAA quality facial mocap, but I think it works really well and it definitely adds a lot of life to the characters. So let's see how to set that up and how to get that working. What you're going to need to start with is a audio file of some dialogue. So I have one here, and let's take a look at what this sounds like.
Hi, I'm looking for Jonathan Petty, the caretaker. Is he around?
And this audio file needs to be in a waveform format. If your audio is in something like an MP3 format or something else, you can use a free tool like Audacity to open up the file and then export your audio in a waveform format from here. The next thing you're going to need is the NVIDIA Omniverse suite of tools. You can download that from the NVIDIA website, and under the NVIDIA Omniverse URL, you can get started, and then you can download the developer tools and the SDK from down here. There's plenty of good tutorials online on how to install this and how to set it up. Once you have the NVIDIA Omniverse launcher set up, you're going to need two things. One is the audio to face. The version I'm using, the latest version, is 2023.2.0. And then you're also going to need the Unreal Engine 5.3 Epic Games connector. Currently, the connector is only available up to 5.3. There is a plugin available for 5.4 as well, but it's missing the import options. So as of mid-August 2024, you'll need to use Unreal 5.3 to do the import, but the animation sequence that this generates, you can export that and migrate it to a 5.4 project later. So that's not really a problem. In order to get these two from the NVIDIA Omniverse launcher, in the Exchange, you can find audio to face in the app section. And then under your connectors, you can find the Unreal connectors for as far back as 4.25 for that. So you have your audio file and you have all these installed. Let's launch audio to face. My Metahuman character is a male, so I'm going to double click on Mark Solved AR Kit, and this will load up the template. If you have a female character, you can use the Claire Solved AR Kit, but both of these produce pretty good blend shapes. So what audio to face does is it takes an audio file and it's going to use AI to generate the blend shapes of the face based on the speech in the audio file. So once you load up the Claire or the Mark Solved AR Kit, in the upper right hand corner, in the audio to face tool tab, is where you'll load up your audio file. So first you have your track root path and your track name. This program comes with a default path with some default voice lines in there already. I'm going to go to my desktop where I have my folder. You can select it from here. And then this already has that one source file in there. And you can select the folder that contains all of your audio files, and then you can pick the right audio file from the dropdown. So let's see what this does with our audio file.
Hi, I'm looking for Jonathan Petty, the caretaker. Is he around? Hi, I'm looking for John.
That looks pretty good already. Some things I like to do is you can dial in your emotions here based on what your audio is like. I like to turn up the amazement and the fear a little bit, which opens up the mouth and makes it a little bit more exaggerated. So let's see how that looks like.
Hi, I'm looking for Jonathan Petty, the caretaker. Is he around?
Perfect. I like that. We're going to use that. What you want to do is export your generated blend shapes from here. The way to do that is you go to the A2F data conversion tab, and let's set up some settings before we do our export. Export directory and the file name is where you can specify where it gets exported and what the file name is going to be. Again, I'm going to go to my desktop and pick that same folder where I have my source audio file. And then I'm just going to name this final dash caretaker. Perfect. And make sure you set the playback FPS to 30. You need to click and drag on this to set it to 30. I oftentimes get import errors when it's at 60, so just set it to 30. It's going to look perfectly fine in the engine. Next, under the blend shape and joint conversion, you want to click on this blend shape solve item that you have in there. And then the last thing you want to do is change the format down here from JSON to USD. And now this should be ready to export our blend shapes. So click on export weights. It'll confirm where it's going to export to and what the file name is going to be. You click on export, it'll run through the dialog and you can see it going in the background. And then that should be it for our export. Now let's open up this folder again, and we have our source audio file here, and we also have our USD file, which is our blend shape animation. From here, we can go right to Unreal. So this is a Unreal 5.3 instance. You'll see in the plugins, it has the NVIDIA Omniverse plugin enabled, and that would be enabled and it will show up if you have installed your connector here. So in Unreal Engine, let's open up our content drawer. I've created just a new folder here. When you right click, if that plugin is installed properly, you'll have a Omniverse heading in the right click menu for import USD and import USD animation. So the one that you want is import USD animation. Here, you want to select your animation. That's the USD file that was just generated from audio to face. And for the skeleton, you want to select the face archetype skeleton for the Metahuman. And in order to have this in your project, you obviously need to have a Metahuman imported into the project. And if you don't have that yet, under Quixel Bridge, under Metahumans, is where you can import a Metahuman that's pre-created or one that you've already created. So you'll just need to click on one and download and then add it to the project. So let's go back here and import that. Import USD animation. Select the face archetype skeleton. It's going to take just a couple seconds because there's a lot of bones in there. And then also make sure that you set the animation source to audio to face Metahuman curves. That's important. So you pick your USD file, face archetype skeleton, and the animation source as audio to face, and then click OK. And that should generate a regular animation sequence for you that has all the proper blend shapes and all of the animation for the Metahuman character. And then you can treat this like any other animation sequence in the engine to play it on the skeletal mesh that is the head of your Metahuman. And one thing we can do to just kind of check how this looks, I can also import the audio file as well. So that's now in here. If we keep that selected under the animation notifies, we can add a play sound notify. And just drag it right to the beginning on frame 0, and then it'll automatically have that source in there as well. So now if we play this, it will have kind of the audio and the animation.
Hi, I'm looking for Jonathan Petty, the caretaker. Is he around?
So it looks pretty good. And then from here, if you are working on a project inside of 5.3, then obviously you're all set. If you're working on a project with the newer version of the engine, you can always right click and export this, and you can import it into 5.4, again picking the same skeleton, and it should work just fine. And that's a pipeline for starting with a audio asset, generating blend shapes for a Metahuman rig, and then having the end product be a animation sequence that you can play at any time in the engine. So I hope that helps.